What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for August 4th, 2025. 4.3 has been released to open PTU straight from Evo Patch. That is a big deal. We'll get into that, but don't worry. 4.2.1 freight elevators are still in shambles, and we got a roadmap update that I didn't read. I only looked at the pictures. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first week in review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week, put it into one video, and share some of my opinions about it. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike. Stop by and say hi if you haven't yet. I really enjoy seeing you guys over here. We just have a bit to cover this week, but especially on that PTU side. And before we do, let me share with you today's sponsor. Thank you to Boot.dev for sponsoring today's video. They are back for all you armchair developers in the comments. You yourself can become a backend web developer using Boot.dev's innovative and really smart lessons towards your goals. You will learn backend web development from start to finish with Python and Go programming languages, but what makes these lessons so different and cool is that they use modern game design to create a self-paced but captivating RPG game that will teach you how to code. It's really cool. They have bi-monthly boss fights where the community rallies together and gains bonus XP for each lesson completed during the event. Learning to code is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a real deal course that will take some time, around 12 months. It goes properly in depth on both theory and practice. Now, here's the really cool part. All of Boot.dev's content is free to read and watch in guest mode. The paid membership unlocks the interactive features like hands-on coding, AI assistance, progress tracking, and the game mechanics. And with that, Boot.dev never wants their students to feel like they aren't getting value, so they offer a 30-day no questions asked refund policy, as well as a free demo of every course and its interactive features. So head over to Boot.dev and use my code SaltEMike and get 25% off your entire first year if you choose the annual plan. Once again, code SaltEMike for 25% off your first payment at Boot.dev. All right, and with that out of the way, let's get into those patch updates. Okay, we start out with Hotfix Central. We had an incredibly slow week for fixes. They teased a 4.3 Evo the entire week while players were waiting for freight elevator fixes for 4.2.1. And we didn't get that Evo until late in the week, but it had been teased, I think, even into last week. Tuesday, we got one fix, and it was for stacking in freight elevators. You no longer have an error when stacking boxes in your turn-in locations for the missions. Great fix, obviously, but people still cannot complete the intro mission because they're looking for a working freight elevator. That's one of the most bonehead moves we've had in years for this stuff. And then 4.3 went to Evo. Before I talk about any of the official notes, they moved from Evo Patch, which had a small issue. If you went down, you had to get help from someone to get back up. You could not backspace to go to the hospital. So they held that in Evo Patch the whole weekend until Sunday morning Eastern time during the Answer the Call podcast. Check that out if you haven't yet. They opened it up to open PTU, not Wave 1, open PTU, available for everyone to test. I have been begging for this for a long time. They always complain they don't have enough testers, and they use the PTU environment to try to fund the game by getting people to subscribe, things like that. Really stupid. And this is how you get these testers, right? You have a stable release to Evo, which is the first time we've seen that in a while, and then you use our excitement for the new content to break everything with too many of us playing, and then you have time to fix that for a whole month. And hopefully we have a smooth-ish release. Now, please don't make me eat my words here, CIG. It would just be so nice to have a decent release one time this year. It would be great. All right, let's start out with testing focus. When I first loaded into the game, I loaded straight into the hangar. Thank you, CIG. I just spoke about this in the last video. I had no idea this was coming, so it was a very nice surprise. And there are many freight elevator potential fixes here. So everyone who is upset at this patch kind of coming out while 4.2.1 is still broken, this is the reason why, right? I assume the delays in the next roadmap also, when we talk about that, might have something to do with this. But basically, sometimes you could do a hotfix on the server, and they do it anytime they can, and then sometimes you have to send out a new patch to somebody, and this is it. Hopefully this isn't a month in PTU, but it probably will be. So it's like they have to weigh the pros and the cons of doing a 4.2.2 and just extending the event, telling you, hey, and they should really do some official communication around this, and just say, hey, we're going to put the fixes in 4.3. We're going to extend the event. Just don't stress. No rush, guys. It's going to be okay, right? Now let's talk about why everyone came here. These Onyx facilities. There's a new mission giver and an old mission category, investigation. If you remember the, what was it? Kovalex Gundo mission, right? That we had in 2.0, I think. Arkin Maller kind of jumps right in and gives us some pretty good details on what we are doing and what we should expect in the first mission.
Hey, thanks for picking this up. Name's Arkin Maller. Opro's dropped this case on me, so I'll be running ops on this side. You got the high level from the brief, but the client's interested in looking into a Dr. Logan Yorrit. He's one of Associated Science and Development's big brains who's been catching some flack ever since it came out that he was crushing baby worms over at their Lazarus sites. You're heading to a decommissioned ASD facility called Onyx that was Yorrit's first official post. The client thinks Yorrit may have been shady back then and wants to know what he got into there. This place may be closed, but it's probably not empty, so bring some protection. I'll get in touch once you get on site.
So he brings you to what looks like a bunker, but it's just two hangars. And you get to call for one, and it will open up just like you would normally call for a hangar. And then you get to complete 4 different mission types, and they eventually start to get pretty repetitive. And yeah, it's pretty simplistic to start. Again, we'll get more into that when we get into the roadmap. There are 2 wings, research and engineering. There's a 3rd wing that should be coming with 4.3.1. And again, we'll get into that in the roadmap. But both can be accessed from the lobby, and the lobby is an armistice zone. Remember, these were supposed to be cooperative zones. So you kind of can meet up with other people in the lobby if you need some help on the missions. But the missions themselves seem very easy. The locations are filled with a lot of responsive AI during the tests, obviously, but we'll see how that ends up on live. And basically, you are asked to explore the locations looking for data. And the data is just on a computer that you gather. Again, it's pretty simple stuff. You're just uncovering a story. Remember, security or Kovalex Gundo. It is not a PvE, not PvP that much. It is about a story, not necessarily loot. But you aren't given much in the way of information in the mission description, so you just kind of find yourself exploring and uncovering these really creepy locations, and they're really creepy, and it's all ASD stuff. So if you remember the doctor that was doing the sandworm stuff, the eradicated or irradiated worm and all the bad things that he did, we're finding out more about him. That's the whole point. You also find, as far as loot goes, the new Volt Sniper here in weapon racks and on some NPCs. It's pretty strong, but limited ammo makes it less powerful. It is kind of charging while you have it in your hands, and you'll see it charge up, these 4 little lights, and then there's also 3 lights on the UI of the gun. So if you want to kind of pull it out and shoot right away, you won't be charged, but if you want to charge it, you just wait. And as you can see in the notes here, charging this thing will charge you 3 times the ammo, but you do 2 times the damage, and the bullet flies twice as fast. What we do get to see is a taste of what's to come. And sadly, what was supposed to be here. Again, you'll find out more in the roadmap update section, but there is a ton of puzzle type gameplay that looks beautiful. Titanfall 2 looking stuff, Mass Effect looking stuff. It's pretty cool, but none of these puzzles seem to work. You can kind of like figure out, I guess what you can use this for is if you want to learn what's coming in 4.3.1 and get a sense for what to expect, how to prepare, that's what this is for. But basically, again, you just get to explore these and find out how creepy and how weird, and we're talking weird stuff. And I don't want to spoil too much, so yeah. It's all story-based, so get in there and check it out. Dynamic snow is kind of in. I think this is something that they'll iterate a lot in this PTU because it just doesn't really hit right now. The sound is using rain sounds, so it's not immersive at all, and it doesn't accumulate at all. So they have a lot of work to do there, but a cloud can roll in and snow starts to fall around you, so that could be cool. And lastly, there's a ladder update in 4.3 that we've talked a bunch about over the last couple weeks, but it's much better than what we had in, like for the last however many years. So yeah, that's really all I got on that. It's nothing special, but it's just what it should be, I guess. And let's find out what we have in roadmap updates about just these few missions that we're getting in the PTU. All right, and for Roadmap Roundup, we start out with 4.2.1 cards. Nothing special here. They just kind of let us know that the patch was released, so they just are letting us know that they simply changed the cards over and kind of crossing their T's and dotting their I's. Now, for 4.3 stuff, they start out with the 4.3 card about 3 hairstyles, but we already had this the last roadmap. And then nearly every other card they talk about is something we already had. So the main update here is that they actually just updated the visuals for each card, which is perfect for me because reading is not my forte, and I like to look at pretty pictures just like most of you, right? And I have the larger colored versions of the images, so you guys can get a nice look. Now, the hairstyles were the same image as the sneak peek from last week, so reusing stuff there. Dynamic snow is obviously snowy, and you've already seen it. And we will see, we get to see the Wikelo ship skins that are going to be added there, and that's kind of nice to know what to grind for, I guess. And as well as the 2 light suits, both regular and Wikelo versions, but just so you know, there's all sorts of colors in the patch. And then the last bit is the major news. So the content, the entire patch seemed to be focused around cooperative zones. Well, the areas are still there, and kind of the content is there, but it doesn't work, was removed from the roadmap temporarily, and the location will stay, and they're just kind of adding Onyx facility missions instead, which is what you saw me doing in the patch notes section. And yeah, it's basically there'll be an extra wing that we'll be able to go to in these locations. Don't know what that will add up to. Don't know what these puzzles that don't work mean. Are they going to work throughout the PTU? Are they not? Are they part of that third wing? Don't know. Have no idea. All I know is these locations are cool, and I really like them. And just a quick note before we move on, because I missed it in the patch notes update, is they distributed these locations. There are 120 of these locations. So the idea here is you can be PvP'd in them. If you come across somebody else that wants to be a jerk and get you, they can. But it is so incredibly unlikely now because there are so many locations. So they have to be at the moon that you're at. They have to actually get the location that you are, because there's no quantum travel locations to any of these unless you have the mission for the area. And if you have a mission in that area, they will not send other people to it unless they have a different mission for that area. So it's weird. There's only a few missions, so it's unlikely you're going to come across other people. But it does happen, but it's like, think about the variables that have to come into play for the guy who wants to kill you to actually end up at the same place as you. It's pretty rare. So, yeah, nothing too crazy there. And all I really hope with the kind of light content on this patch is that you basically get some stability, some bug fixing, some of the things that we've kind of been talking about. And we'll have to see. But with that, let's move into other updates. All right, and this week we almost didn't start with the sneak peek. This was a really weird week for CIG. They didn't do anything until basically the last possible minute the whole week. I swear they're just like addicted to working the weekends and overworking themselves and not releasing anything during the week. I don't get it. But we didn't get this sneak peek until late Sunday night, 2 days later than normal. And it's a ship snail sneak peek. It's a Kruger ship. Most people think this is from that concept SCL that we had a while back, but there's a clock on the wheel. And for me, this has to represent a racing ship. Watches and such are synonymous with racing all the time. So let me know what you guys think. And then Ship Showdown. This is kind of the first steps. It's a fun little March Madness like tournament that they do. And the first phase, you have to kind of post on social media and like memes and things about your favorite ship. And the community team will pick, but most people think that they kind of pre-pick these things, especially because now that there's categories and things like that. So yeah. Kind of a fun little thing the community does, and they just end up fighting over what ship gets to have skins and which one doesn't deserve them. It's pretty stupid, but it's stupid good fun, I guess. And then for dev posts, we'll start out with nameplates. This is something that has annoyed players a lot, not me as much, but it's the fact that you can see player names of ships, or that you can't currently see them without scanning. Someone went on Spectrum to complain about this, and DJ Bunton popped in on Spectrum because the complaints were about Arena Commander, and he's the Arena Commander guy, as many of us know. And yeah, he let us know that they're going to try and do a ping wave. If you hit tab and it pings, that will show a player's name. I tested that in the PTU. It is not working currently. But this is something that we'll probably see throughout the PTU cycle. Personally, I thought it was quite easy to call out targets with the serial numbers rather than names, because it's just 2 letters that you have to call out versus a entire name that you may missay or misread or whatever, right? There's also mention of this work still being done in Squadron in this post, and a lot of people kind of pinpointed on that in the comments of this post from DJ, and it was the whole like, remember when Chris told us Squadron was feature complete? Yeah, I probably just don't understand game development on this one, but it doesn't sound like that feature is complete. Wikelo ships. A lot of people were starting to get annoyed by the fact that most sold ships were starting to make it into the PU, not in the in-game shops, but only at Wikelo. And Nico let us know that they are discussing the idea of adding some ships to the dealer terminals. For me personally, I love that the Polaris is not available for sale, and it's kind of a grind to get. It makes players work together. But for a ship like the Golem that's coming in, yeah, no. And the way you get the Golem is finding what appears to be an extremely rare item in the new Onyx locations. So yeah, that's a starter ship that should be in the shops. But other stuff, yeah, sure. I like the idea of having a grind for them. So let me know what you guys think on this one. They should probably add the interest there as well now, right? But we'll have to see. But starters, no. And then lastly, Progress Tracker, a real quick one here. They plan on giving us a Progress Tracker update soon. Do you guys think this will be the first time that they actually release a meaningful progress update? But yeah, I feel like it's a waste of time to even maintain it. But please, if you guys care about the Progress Tracker, tell me why. I just do not understand it. I don't get the point of it. But with that, thank you so much for watching. If you could see on my face, it's 4 a.m. Monday morning. I usually record this early Sunday morning, but because everything happened on Sunday, essentially, yeah, I had to kind of rush this one out. So please give a like for Editor Biggs to kind of speed this one out to you guys. And yeah, I also played hockey until midnight last night, so I'm on 4 hours of sleep. So likes for that, and comments down below on anything we discussed, anything you might miss. Go down in the description and check out, first off, boot.dev, because they're awesome, and the links. We have all of the kind of things that we are talking about, all the sources of them, right? So check those out if you guys haven't, and yeah, subscribe for more weeks in review, and thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next week. And yeah, hopefully we got some good stable PTU stuff, because lots of client crashes right now, lots of server errors. Naturally, that's great if they fix it. So we'll see. Good luck, everyone, and I'll catch you guys next week.